Let's get ready to RPG!
RPG! RPG! RPG! RPG! RPG!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special midday random stream. We're not going to be on long for today. I just wanted to hop on real quick to Signal Boost and join you all, as many of you maybe have already done so, and hop onto Kickstarter and pledge what I'm sure will be too much money for the brand new Kickstarter coming out from Need Games for Fabula Ultima. And this is actually a sort of a celebration in many ways of, in my opinion, and I would argue in Emmanuel's opinion, the core completion of the game, or at least the initial set pieces. Everything after this point, I think, is bonus. And for those of you who really maybe are new to Fabula Ultima, TTR JRPG, please ask some questions. To be clear, I am not affiliated with Need Games. I do know Emmanuel, not very well. We've met several times at conventions. He was a member of our Patreon here at Knights of the Last Call for a while because he appreciated the support and love that we showed for his game. And he's all around a great guy. The folks over there at Need Games, Nicola and Pedro, they're all really good people. And I'm excited for them. So why am I doing this then if I'm not being paid or anything like that? Simply because I fucking love the game, and I love these creators. I love their company. I love the style. I love the art, and I love what they're doing with this Kickstarter. And so, it's lunchtime, and I figured I'd hop on for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and just kind of, celebrate with you all and really enjoy, this kind of cool moment as I see it, as this sort of small indie game has really managed to capture the hearts and minds of a good number of people. And it, of course, in a world of, of D&Ds and Pathfinders and even Dagger Hearts, these massive tentpole things, it's very easy for a small game like this to go unnoticed, but it is a fantastic game. I found that it's the number of times I've played it have been really, really enjoy. I'm actually playing it next Wednesday. I'm running press start for a new group, so try to get some more people indoctrinated. And it's just an all-around fantastic group. It's actually probably one of my biggest regrets is that I haven't actually gotten a full-fledged mega ultimate campaign of Fabula Ultima. And to be completely honest with you, the only reason that didn't happen is simply because we really wanted to use Technospheres and the really good Foundry module, system module that runs Fabula Ultima doesn't support Technospheres. Shorn, who is a developer and a member of the Knights of the Last Call Patreon now, has been working on them diligently, but they are, obviously that's not a full-time job, and they are still not ready. And the reason that's important is because if our Fabula Ultima campaign was going to kick off, we were going to have, obviously some of our local folks, but we were going to have one or more remote folks. So it just made more sense to play it on Foundry. And we really wanted to use Technospheres, and it was going to be kind of kludgy without that. So we kind of were like, maybe let's hold off and see if somebody develops this. And, to be determined at this point. Any case. So, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Fabula Ultima is a TTJRPG. It is a role-playing game, but it is very stylized and spiritually emulating the sort of classic JRPGs, council-based JRPGs that many of us grew up with. Final Fantasies, Dragon Quests, Xenogears, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, all those games that kind of emulate that certain JRPG aesthetic has been sort of distilled into this game. And then as for the game itself, it is a who's who of some of Derek's favorite games as to what inspired Emanuel Galetto, the designer of the game, in constructing it. The core engine itself is based off of Ryotama, which itself is a Japanese RPG. And but there are so many elements in this game that are taken from some of my favorite narrativist and crunchy RPGs. It's no surprise that this game and Daggerheart have such a firm grip on my heart these last couple of years, simply because they occupy, for me, a very nice sweet spot between what I consider to be narrativist mechanics and gamist mechanics. Lately, of note, I have not been super big on the simulationist game elements. Don't get me wrong. Travelers over there looking at me every time I look at my bookshelf, and I'm kind of like, man, that game is really cool. And I'm not into weapon, gun porn, like the way that some TTRPGers are, but Starship, porn, like figuring out like what jump drive I want to put on my ship or whatever, that I can get behind. Anyways, simulationism has not been my forte, and I've really enjoyed sort of the gamist games and the narrativist games, but I've really been looking for is a sweet spot where I can, enjoy the emotional and cinematic storytelling with a focus on narrative beats without it just becoming a bunch of, fluffy bullshit time with no meat on the bones. And so a game like Fabula Ultima, a game like Daggerheart, I think really occupies a really nice sweet spot. And, honestly, between me and you, I think Fabula Ultima is probably a kind of, in some ways, does it better than Daggerheart, simply because the narrativist mechanics are more forward and direct. What you can do with a Fabula point and the reward mechanism for acquiring them isn't just based off of rolling dice, as it is in, say, Daggerheart. It is instead tied directly to the setbacks and dilemmas and problems that your character is, facing. And additionally, you receive them, again, not just because you rolled dice, but when the GM sort of takes aggressive control of the story, maybe they introduce some villains in a cutscene, or, they malevolently stride onto the scene. Well, cool. Here's some cool meta currency points. So it's a really, really fantastic game. We've covered it numerous times on this channel. Apparently, we are linked, or some of our videos are linked on their Kickstarter page. By the way, there's a link to the Kickstarter in the doobly-doo down below, so definitely check that out. It's just been up for about a little over an hour. It's over 1,000 backers. It's over $300,000. So slam dunk. And I told, again, I'm sure everything was well written, but when I spoke to these folks, their booth was right next to Roll for Combats at Gen Con. And I came over, and they were showing me some cool sneak previews and stuff of the Bestiary, and it was pretty cool. And I told them, I said, guys, listen, you have earned, you have more than earned the respect and the admiration and the belief from your audience. You have delivered a wonderfully well-designed game. It was beautifully laid out. The art was stunning and appropriate. The game mechanics clear and direct. The engagement level off the charts. You delivered that, and then you made this sort of implicit promise. You said, we are going to deliver over the next 3 years a supplement, one supplement a year. And a lot of indie people never deliver on that. And they did, like clockwork. They did the Kickstarter for High Fantasy Atlas, and then the following summer, they delivered it in print at Gen Con. The following year, Techno Fantasy Atlas, again, delivered in print at Gen Con. And then just this past Gen Con, Natural Fantasy Atlas. So all in all, it's just been hit after hit after hit. They have, and I told them, speaking as a customer, as a client, I said, this is your chance to say, hey, we really want to give you something special. And I think your audience, and that includes me, are more than happy to put down some cash and make this really pop off for you. I basically said, as a customer, shoot for the moon here. Make it, if you want to make it so that there's an option for everybody, not everybody's going to be able to drop, a couple $100. Totally understand that. But give people that choice, right? Give people that option, because I promise you, if you give people, if you shoot for the moon, you might hit the stars, because people are basically going to really want to come out and show their support for it. And The reason why I say that this is a celebration, and they're even calling it a celebration edition, so I'm not making that up, is the implicit promise of this game was in the core rulebook that they talk about the 3 pillars of play, and they talk about high fantasy, techno fantasy, and natural fantasy, as sort of being the 3 core genres of the JRPG, and they have delivered all 3 of those like clockwork. However, the one thing that was missing, and to be fair, maybe they should have done this first. But the one thing that was really missing was a really good bestiary. Now, the core book has monsters in it, true. The expansion books included mostly villains. But what the game really needed was some bestiary support to make it truly complete. And while I totally respect, because I think monster design is really tough to get right. And I've said before that I think that when new RPGs launch, they should really focus on making a handful of low-level monsters so that you have something to play with right out the bat. But then they should really focus on delivering like a monster manual a year, and sort of each monster manual should increase the levels more and more, because the game designers themselves are going to learn more about their game. They're going to learn what their audience needs. They're going to learn what the game system needs. And so I think while it may have been a little bit of a pain in the ass that we didn't have a bestiary for this long, I do think we are reaping the full rewards of that, because they understand their game now better than ever. And they know what this game needs for it to tick, and they know how their system works. They've gotten a lot of feedback from people. So in some cases, sometimes bestiaries could be really awkward and poorly designed, which is why I tend not to like them. They tend to feel more like someone threw shit at a wall and see what stuck. Whereas I think bestiaries serve a variety of purposes, but one of the most important things they serve is being a powerful game aid to make the game engine run. And from what I've seen, both in previews and in person, and just talking to Emmanuel and the folks over at Need Games, this is what we're going to get. And it's not just going to be, here's a list of monsters. That alone would be amazing. But it's also going to be, here's how you construct interesting and dynamic villains and boss fights and multi-phase monsters, and how do you structure these things so you really get that really awesome JRPG experience, which is why people in some large part are coming to play this game. So I think this game is awesome and amazing. And I just want to, I wanted to geek out with you all. I wanted to nerd out with you all and enjoy the game. And so hopefully you all are enjoying it as well. So just real quick here, Dr. D Hart says, I ordered the collector's box and we'll be adding the Amano cover core rulebook during the backer kit processing. So stoked for this. So yeah, we'll get into this. But for someone like me who grew up playing Final Fantasy, I cannot. One sec. I own all the volumes. This is volume 1 of this. This is the Ultimania archive. This is an art series of art books. They have a bunch of them for all the different books. For someone like me, I grew up with this Amano art, with this Yoshitaka Amano art. And so in large part, especially this red sword, this is a classic. There's also like a blue sword version of it. This is indelibly linked for me to what Final Fantasy is for me. I know it's not everybody's favorite style, but for me, this is pretty much the most S tier thing that I can possibly imagine. Not only do I love it, it is so nostalgic. It is so hearkening back to what brought me into this hobby, this genre. And, because I played, let me be very clear here, I played Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, as it was called in the US, Dragon Warrior 1, long before I played D&D. So in some ways, my first introduction to RPGs was through JRPGs. So I have a huge soft spot for this genre, but also this artist. And so when they told us that they got him to do a couple of special pieces for this collector's edition for this celebration edition. That was way too much for me. KC says this thing is popping off. Yeah, I mean, already up to 325,000. Levy says my wallet will hate me, but I'm thinking of doing the same. Just getting the whole thing. Fantastic. Voy, yeah, we're up here in the middle of the day. Ben, good to see you. Now, you know, some people might think, oh, doesn't Ben love like miseries and misfortunes and Against the Dark Master and what's your most recent one? It's not Blackbirds. It's is it Blackbirds? Ben loves the super hyper simulationist games. Ben ran a Fabula Ultima campaign for his group, and he ran it in a he ran it really old school. Like he had like the group was like going through a dungeon, and it was like you had like it was like a point crawl where you had like encounters that you had to sort of strategically plan around. So it was like one of the JRPGs where you can like see, I think, the random encounters. Ben can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a game that appeals to a lot of us simply because of its goal to emulate these JRPGs, which are so fantastically, these JRPGs which are so fantastically part of our growing up and our core and our nostalgia. KC is currently at the deluxe bundle, but they might step up. Yep, 250K from 1,000 backers, right? So if you do the math on that, that means that the average person is paying $250. Pulf is here, another Fabula Ultima vet, has run many games of Fabula Ultima, including for the fine folk, and played many games, I believe, including for the fine folks here at Knights of Last Call. Why is there no just hardcover of all book pledge level? Is that English, Bob? Why is there no? Not only that, it ends with a period. It's a question, Bob. Why is there no just hard? Well, I don't know, Bob. I gotta look into it. Hadrian is getting impatient to see Atlas Natural Fantasy in my FLGS. Oh, Hadrian, do you mean this Atlas Natural Fantasy? Do you mean this Atlas Natural Fantasy, which is blown out because the light's too much? There we go. Come on, you can do it. Focus. Why won't that focus? I guess it's too bright. It's too bright. Anyways, point is, this is signed by Emmanuel. He did not give this to me, of course. I bought this with my own money. I bought several of these, and flashbang. These are signed generically because mine's up on the shelf somewhere. I don't even know where my Fabula. Oh, it's behind Daggerheart. There we go. Yeah. See, this is mine, and this one is for giving away. So we're going to do some giveaways today. I have got a signed copy of Natural Fantasy Atlas. I have got a signed copy of Techno Fantasy. And I also have, it's not signed, but I have a GM screen because it's still in the shrink wrap. This is the GM screen and GM guide. So if you're interested, we're going to do some giveaways before the end of the stream. The caveat is that, and I hate to do it, but if you're not in the U.S., we got to work something out because shipping to Europe is like crazy expensive. Sorry, I shipped a couple prizes to Europe, and it literally cost me like $200. Yeah. So, anyways. Let's see here. Yeah, River, it's fantastic. They accepted the genres and all this other stuff, and they nailed it with each book. It's fantastic. Derek, you have a piece of white something in your hair on your top right side. Thank you. See, why did nobody tell me that? It actually might have been some conditioner, but we'll see. Yeah, Jorelson, like I said, there's a lot going on today. So Fabula Ultima Kickstarter, huge. Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster release. And of course, it's one of those things where it's like already kind of annoying because like, quote unquote, the industry insiders, which apparently was like anybody, because I even saw some streamers who had like 10K subs. Not only had they gotten the game, like they've already played it and beat it. It's one of the video games are weird. I guess role-playing games just don't work that well because, you can't just like be like, well, I played it and beat it. I mean, like tabletop role-playing games. Anyways, I know a lot of people are like, oh, this and that, and that. I have not played Final Fantasy Tactics in 28 years or whatever. I never played it for the PlayStation. I never had a PlayStation Portable. So I never played it on any of the other systems. I only played it on the original PlayStation 1. And I loved it. It was weird. The translation was bad. Some of the spells, things that they would shout out would be weird and not really make any sense. But the story was mature. This is coming off of Final Fantasy VII, and I loved the gameplay. It was unique and different. As somebody who, loved Warhammer and skirmish miniature games, I thought that the grid-based things. I loved the implementation of the job system, which I had gotten to experience a little bit when they re-released, because I never played it in the U.S. until they re-released it on like one of those anthologies or chronicles releases for the PlayStation, which was Final Fantasy V, and I love the job system, and my party was completely shit, but I beat the game and it was fun. So I'm not one of those people who like, oh, I never grinded calculator so that I could, get every single prime number and get, 2, 3, 5, 7. No, I didn't do any of that stuff. My final Ramza was like a patchwork of like, God knows what jobs. I think he was like a ninja knight or something by the end of the game. I don't know. Anyways, point is, I'm not like that kind of gamer. I don't like min-max a game. I don't 100% anything. Yeah. So I just play the game. Anyways, that comes out today, or that is out today, and I want to play it. So at some point we got to play that. And Daggerheart is launching a Kickstarter today. They're also doing an AMA this afternoon, which I'm going to definitely hop on and watch. I actually submitted a question to ask them some questions because I'm a fanboy too. In fact, if you, in a perfect world, I would somehow combine Fabula Ultima with Daggerheart, and that would be like my perfect game. So Patrick, thank you for joining us. Levy, yes, I love it so much as well. Sketchosaurus, I'm right there, huge. So yes, Ben ran it, a hacked Fabula. Yes. Oh, don't get me wrong, it was definitely hacked, but yes, for fantastic. Cardboard Enjoyer, yeah, it's a great game. Again, we've really looked at it in depth on 2 prior streams, so definitely check it out. Italy definitely is coming out with a lot of new RPGs. You've got was it 2 Blind Mice? Is it 3 Blind Mice or 2 Blind Mice? But you also have Need Games. I mean, they're just really coming out with a lot of stuff. 2 Little Mice. Okay, I was close. Voice says, I won't even try the EU shipping. Yeah, it's crazy. Just paid $80 in shipping for a new KVM Switch. Ugh. It's the only one you don't have yet. Oh, you don't have a Natural Fantasy Atlas? That's a shame. It'd be shame if your psychopathic YouTuber friend, Derek, because he's an idiot and hates to make money, did he buy 3 Fabula Natural Fantasy Atlases and get them all signed by Emmanuel for his patrons and viewers? Oh, I think he did. So, yeah, we're not going to give away 1. We're going to give away 3. Now, one of these I'm going to give away here on stream. along with this copy of Techno Fantasy Atlas. But these two, these are going to be giveaways in my Patreon. So these are going to be going to patron members. So we got some GM screens as well. We got another GM screen. This is all giveaway stuff. So cool stuff. Cool stuff. Anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, what's up, Black Retro? Ultima Dagger Ultima. Fabula Heart sounds kind of cool. Fabula Heart. Yeah, Fabula Heart. That sounds great. No, leave Dagger Heart out of FU. There are things that Fabula Ultima does that I like better. If you know, just a quick rundown. There are gamist decisions that Dagger Heart made in order to make the game simpler. And that's fine. I think it's great. But personally, I love Fabula Ultima's energy type system. In Dagger Heart, you just have physical damage and magic damage. It's fine. But I prefer a little bit of distinction. So in Fabula Ultima, you have physical damage, but you also have, fire, ice, poison, dark, light, earth, and then banana. I think are the damage types. And so it's an inside Fabula Ultima joke. But I like those damage types, and I would totally use those. Number two, I really like the bond system. And while I do think Fabula Ultima's bond system is a little bit underrated, not underrated, rather, it's a little simple, which is fine because it keeps the game moving. I think a game like this can really lean into those bond system, and I would love to see a more developed bond system for Dagger Heart. So that's something I would totally want to steal from Fabula Ultima. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in Fabula Ultima that I really, really like. Daggeria Ultima, FU Heart. FU Heart. I'm sorry, Leonardo. It is rough. It is really, 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 it is really, really, really rough. Yes, the banana damage. So what I'm hearing is that Derek Hart will have elemental damage types. Yeah, I mean, it really depends. I mean, that's neither here nor there, but it really depends on of how much of a game does it end up, you know, is it really just a expansion for Dagger Heart, or is it really just a kind of a whole new game? But in a perfect world, I would combine this stuff and include some of the things that I think better. Hey, Full Metal Dragon, that's great. Fabula Ultima much more than Dagger Heart, and in some ways, I don't blame you. There's a lot more. You know, Fabula Ultima still has an initiative order. You know, characters get one action around. You know, there's a little bit more of traditional, what we would consider traditional RPG elements into Fabula Ultima. And if I recall correctly, you know, some of the wishy-washiness of Dagger Heart and maybe even some of the wishy-washiness of PBTA ? Rubbed you the wrong way. I also think that combat in Fabula Ultima is a lot more strategic and I hesitate to say, well, I'll say tactical, but a lot of people think they hear tactical and they think grid, which makes sense, right? Final Fantasy Tactics. What is it known for? The grid. But what's really cool about Fabula Ultima is how it manages to be tactical without using a grid. And I think that's actually one of the coolest things about the game that it really succeeds on. The strategic use of your initiative order, using your abilities at the right time, setting up against foes, targeting the right ones, using the right elemental types, getting things in, you know, properly in order. There's a really strong tactical element there, even though you don't have grid-based movement, which is really cool. And then obviously the game has an incredible strategic base in, you know, when you level up, what job do you take? I know they call them classes, but they're jobs to me. So, Loop says my players all call it banana damage as well. Pulf says banana type OP. My wife took banana damage for her Ultra Magic. That's sick. Pulf, I hope the wife is doing well. It was really nice to get to meet her this past summer. Black Retro says, I do wish Dagger Heart had various damage types. It's suggested narratively, but not explicitly. And Black Retro, I agree with you. And I know why they did that. It makes it really simple. It makes it a little less complicated. It makes it, easier. There's a lot of reasons why they did that, and I don't disagree with any of them. That being said, for my personal tastes, I like, 6 or 7 damage types. That's a good number for me. And very conveniently enough, that's what we get with Fabula Ultima. That's a huge reason, Leviticus, is that they add tactical elements without positioning, which is huge. And to be clear, I think in many people who have a lot more experience with Fabula Ultima would agree with me, or can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But strategically using the right damage types against enemies is, I think, one of the most important things that you can do in Fabula Ultima, because it's double damage. And if you use the wrong damage type, it's half or none, or they might even get healed by it. So being able to position yourself in that way, I think, is really, really important. Okay, that's interesting. So Full Metal Dragon, you are quite the character. Loves PBTA, but not a fan of Daggerheart. Loves or really liked 4th edition, but find Draw Steel kind of boring. Full Metal Dragon, you are just a riddle wrapped inside of a mystery, inside of an enigma, my friend. Edward, fantastic for you to stop by. Raj, I have only played it in one-shots. I have not actually played our full campaign yet. It's been a nightmare getting our group organized. The summertime is all. I'm the single guy with no kids. The rest of my friends, kids, wives, ex-wives, but still kids and wives. All this other stuff. Jobs. I don't have any of that. I don't have a job. I don't have a kid. I don't have a wife. So I'm much more free than my friends. And so the summertime is really, really bad. So they have basically been unavailable for us to really play. Yeah, Finlay. Fabula Ultima really appeals to my G side, and it's especially appealing because it's not D&D, and I can completely agree with you. Duncan would love to combine bonds, rituals, and jobs from Fabula Ultima, 13th Age Professions, and Daggerheart Core all in one game. Duncan, that sounds pretty amazing. I didn't get into that, but if you look at one of our past Fabula Ultima streams, you will see me gushing about the ritual system in Fabula Ultima as well. So I fantastically love it. So, okay, so we just hit 350,000. Let's head over and see what we've got going on here, because it's time. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Okay, let's fix this so it's not horrible. Okay. All righty. Okay. There we go. Okay. So here we have Fabula Ultima TTRPG JRPG Celebration Edition. And if you're interested, again, you can do it. You can do it here below. The ENNIE, by the way, we completely skipped that, but the ENNIE award-winning JRPG, it did win 2 ENNIEs in its very first year of publication. So the core book won gold and silver for rules and design, which it completely and totally deserves. And we've got $350,000 at $1,235. Fantastic. All right. So I don't know anything. I haven't really checked this out. I've been sort of, off in the cut. So we'll be getting this early bird thing here. Fantastic. Again, inspired by Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Octopath Traveler, Grand Blue. Best game, gold. Product of the year, silver. And it is an adamantine seller. So fantastic. We love it. We love it. We love it. And it's a gorgeous book. And you know what? I love the form factor. But, a soft cover. I get it was a small indie press. Look, this was what they could make. I am excited to get some proper hardback books. If you haven't played, if you're interested in playing, I recommend you do press start. It is one of the best introductions to a game I've ever seen. It plays quick, fun, fast, easy. It really gives you a distinct taste for what the game feels like. It's got airships. It's got dark knights. It's got, you know, evil warriors who wear high heels. It's like a JRPG, you know, condensed down into one, you know, 25-page adventure or 30-page adventure. It's really good, and you should definitely check it out. All right, so we're coming back with a new premium format, the interior editorial line presented in brand new standard hardback edition in a prestigious deluxe edition with hardback covers, premium finishes, and special materials. Love it. Love it. This deluxe edition includes all Fabula Ultima books published to date, the core rulebook, Atlas, High Fantasy, Techno Fantasy, Natural Fantasy, as well as Bestiary Volume 1. By the way, I think all Bestiary should just be called Volume 1. Calling it like Monster Manual 1 sounds just boring. Each deluxe, they're all embellished with a beautiful geometric graphic cover. Each deluxe edition comes with a full version of the original artwork from the standard version on the inside. So that's like, you know, this cool art. So super high quality, super awesome. We've got ribbons, you know, fantastic. Additionally, we're going to get errata. So here we have our standard hardback edition. So it's just this version with in hardback. Love it. And I love these arts. But then these are classier in some ways. And am I going to get all 8 of these? Yeah, maybe, probably, maybe. Maybe. And then we have the Bestiary. So this is new. Over 300 pages of narrative-driven creatures, tactical tool, and storytelling fuel, all enhanced by a gallery of wonderful illustrations. Beyond its rich compendium, featuring more than 100 unique creatures, it delivers tools, options, and advice, a quick assembly method offering a backwards-compatible guided process for enemy creation, dozens of unique enemy skills, an entire chapter dedicated to Wayfarer companions, new arcana, those are the summons that you can summon in this game, tied to powerful bases, and even optional conflict rules. So, just a side note, one of the things I absolutely love about Fabula Ultima is how many fucking optional systems and subsystems that they give you. They say, hey, here's the game, here's a different option. Hey, you want to make your games harder? Here's boost mode. Or, hey, you want to play the game on hard mode? Here's a different mode. So, there's always these cool little optional rules that they include. And it gives you a lot of flexibility with the game, including optional conflict rules, which is really awesome. Ready mage encounters combining creatures from the compendium and core. It's not just a book of stats, it's a forge for legends. So here we have the hardcover Bestiary and then the platinum or the premium edition. Love the dark cover art. Fantastic. We've got jellies, we've got death knights, everything that you would want to see. And I'm sure some incredible and amazing boss fights will be in there. Yeah, look at that thing. Fantastic. And then we get to, of course, for me, the big deal, which is Yoshitaka Amano, very heart of the genre himself. And again, I showed you my art volume. So he created an original artwork to celebrate Fabula Ultima and its love for JRPGs. Will be used as a variant cover for the core rulebook, as well as for the huge special collector's edition box, a nod to the special edition of the most beloved JRPGs. Both are exclusive and will never be reprinted. So again, we're not literally getting, which I think it makes it more special, that you get the special edition for just the core rulebook or the collector's box, not for every single book. Inside the collector's box, you will find all the essential volumes of Fabula Ultima in hardcover deluxe edition, an exclusive, we're getting a GM screen with Yoshitaka Amano illustration as well, an item pack with all of the accessories and all the physical stretch goals. It is a gargantuan box made of high-quality materials, magnetic closure, hard foam core, and 2 drawers. And there it is. That's the GM screen, and that's the exclusive cover art. Once the campaign is over, you'll be able to select your preferred version of the standard edition of the Fabula Ultima core rulebook from your pledges. The original cover by Morio, or the exclusive cover by Yoshitaka. There is no difference in content's price. We want as many people to enjoy this as they can. Look at that. Wow. They both look beautiful. And there's that collector's edition box. Fantastic. And the item pack. And the GM screen. Holy crap. I got a chance to look at these at Gen Con. They're pretty cool. I like the pixel art. We get 9 crystal dice and all sorts of bips and bops, including dry erase clock trackers, dry erase player notes, boss notes, villain notes, little chits for status effects and tracking Fabula points. Look at these clock cards. We got a 4 clock. We got a 6 clock. We got an 8 clock. We have a 10 clock. We have a 12 clock. Apparently, we have a 1 clock, but no, realistically, this is one that you can just make whatever clock you want. We get token statuses, so you can just hand these out. Love it. We get Fabula points and Ultima points. Love it. Okay, so let's scroll down before we start looking at the bundles. Let's see where we're at with the stretch goals here. So we've already unlocked more pages for the Bestiary. We've already unlocked a Fabula Ultima sheet pack of 50 sheets. So it's, basically pre-printed character sheets that you can pull off, including stuff for the world creation. Hardback soft touch finish. All standard hardback versions of Fabula Ultima will now have a soft touch cover. If you don't know what a soft touch cover is, it's where it feels a little leathery, which is nice. But now the embellishments on the deluxe covers will have an embossed effect and a foil finish. So upgrading the hardbacks, upgrading the deluxe version. Now we're going to get a new dice set available, set in fiery rubery red, inspired by High Fantasy Atlas. So the green dice and the red dice. More pages for the Bestiary. A load game printing, an expanded version of Press Start with additional rules, sample adversaries, and examples. We get Demiplane. Boo! I hate Demiplane, but, if you really, really like it, go for it. Hardback UV finish. All standard books now have a UV finish. It makes the books extremely durable. Now, unfortunately, these appear to be locked, but they should be unlocked by now. So let me refresh. Shouldn't these be? Oh, I'm looking at it in US dollars. These are pounds. Am I crazy? Shouldn't these be unlocked now? I wonder why they're showing it's not unlocked. I mean, obviously, I don't know what $350,000 US is, but I'm guessing that's around 300,000. So it looks like we're going to get the Natural Fantasy dice set, the Techno Fantasy card deck, item pack upgrade, and a book of art for Fabula Ultima. You also always get the PDF version as well. All right, so here we have the Ultimate Kickstarter. Now, what am I going to get? I don't know. Probably everything and spend way too much money. They are confirming that they are unlocked. Regardless, it sounds like you're going to have a lot of options on your hands. Now, look, to be clear, I did update. I refreshed the page. Shouldn't that have refreshed the unlocking? Oh, they haven't updated yet. Okay, so they're behind. Okay. There you go, Void-Nuffalo. So it looks like you're going to have a lot of different price and options and a lot of different packages. For some people, you may just want to get the Bestiary. So that's totally reasonable. You already have, the soft cover books. You don't need a reprint of them. So that's fine. But I would say that if you really like this game, some people may not like Yoshitaka Amano's art, which is also totally fine. But I do. And so I am probably going to be looking. So obviously, if worst comes to worst, just get the starting bundle or just get the beautiful hardback. Or if you really never play it online, or if you only play things online, get the digital bundle. You get 2 PDFs. Give them to a friend. Here you go. Here's the rule book and the Bestiary, and it's the hardcover rule book. So this is a great way if you already own the soft covers, but you just want to upgrade your primary rule book. You get the hardback of the core rule book, you get the Bestiary, and you get an item pack. This is a fantastic I love that they call it the level up bundle. This is fantastic for people who already own the soft covers and don't want to spend, you know, a ton of money. Now, this is expensive, but hey, 5 hardcover books, all of them premium, and the item back. Now the collector's edition box. All of the premium hardbacks, deluxe hardbacks in the collector's edition box, all the physical stretch goals for $400. Oh, boy. Fabula Ultima or food. Now, like, I'm not going to lie to you, folks. I am tempted to get this and then add on, you know, the normal covers. To add on, you know, the hardbacks. Is that crazy? Maybe. Maybe I am crazy. Just so I could have both, you know, one for show, one for go, you know. Well, in the meantime, needless to say, it's a very exciting time, and I think it's going to be a really, really cool thing that we do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway to celebrate unlocking all of the there we go. All right. Bloop. All right. If you type /join, that should let me get my thing. Let me get my updated here. Where is it? Credits, giveaway tool. Nope, that's a poll. Nope, that's a different one. There we go. All right. So go ahead and I did not buy Final Fantasy Tactics yet, Lance. I've been just, you know. Simon, by the way, says Need Game says you can also just do the $1 tier and then add just cherry pick items that you want. Now remember, this is going to be we're going to start with the Techno Fantasy Atlas. So this is for a signed copy of the Techno Fantasy Atlas. I will say that again, if you win and you're from not the US, we'll have to work something out where you can help me pay for the shipping. Because again, I already bought the book. I bought it, you know, wholesale. I bought it at Gen Con when it came out. And so it's going to be really expensive for me to for me to ship it. I already paid for the book. And, you know, in case you didn't notice, I don't have a job. So, in fact, YouTube is my job, and I'm just giving all my money away. Anyways, point is, if you want to enter and you're from the EU or you're from Canada or wherever, that's fine. But when we go to I have to go figure out what shipping and customs is to your country. And if it's like $40 or $50, you're going to have to like Venmo me or something because I can't eat that price. If you're in the US, luckily we still have media mail, and it's only like, you know, $5 or $6 to ship it for you. So, so this is going to be for our Techno Fantasy giveaway. Nope. If you entered, you're entered for all time. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't think I can remove anybody from the list. All right. Looks like Avengers in there. Klopster Rolls in there. We'll give it another minute. So give it another minute or two. Again, then we only have a handful of people. Paul, if you win, we'll just pull again. And again, we're going to do a techno fantasy giveaway, and then we're going to do a natural fantasy giveaway, and then when we're done, we're going to do some additional giveaways for our patrons as well over in our Discord. So definitely check that out. Anyways, I just wanted to hop on here at everybody's lunch break and, you know, kind of just celebrate this awesome game. I unfortunately have not gotten it, you know, to a full campaign or table yet. We did a session 0. The guys built some incredible characters, some really neat stuff. We had a really cool world that we built, so much so that while we didn't end up playing Fabula Ultima right away, I kind of wanted to steal the world concept and use it for potentially our mega dagger reaches game, right? So our sort of mega Discord based Daggerheart, theoretical Daggerheart game, just because I think it's really, really, really cool. So again, I think it'll be really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to playing with that. All right, we're gonna do the giveaway here in 10 seconds. So get your last, if you're not in already, ! Join, and we're gonna do the poll here in a second. All right, good luck, everybody. Here we go. Social Stream Ninja. Not the hype meter, the wait list. Here we go. A drum roll. All right, Ira Rumpf, you are our winner. Ira, congrats. Do I have my text winning stuff? Cinnabos, that is very nice of your Eurobro shipping cost reduction. Cinnabos, that is very, very, very nice of you. Cinnabos, that's funny. Okay. So thank you, Cinnabos, and you know, look at that. We can now have it. So you are our winner, Ira. Congrats. So Ira, if you want, what you can do is send me an email, Ira, to dmelenda@knightsoflastcall.com. Go ahead and link to your YouTube account so that I know that it's you. So, you know, in case someone tries to impersonate being you. But yeah, send me your contact information and I will get this out to you ASAP. So Cinnabos, what a legend. Fantastic. Congratulations. So yeah, Ira, thank you so much. We're going to reset the queue. All right. That was for Techno Fantasy. Congrats to Ira. Next. Natural Fantasy. That's right. This is the game that just came out at Gen Con in hardcover. Obviously, if you kickstarted it, you might have a copy of the. Bob, what the fuck are you doing in the queue? Bob, if you win, you don't get it. Bob, you're such a piece of shit. Bob says, I need that one. Ugh. You know what? I hope Bob wins, and then everybody here can boo this man. Boo this man. Stealing from our loyal viewers and patrons. He's trying to save you on shipping. Cardboy enjoys this. Can I donate it? Can I donate it to Bob if I join and win from the EU? Lance says I should make him pay for the shipping. There you go. If I made him pay for the shipping, Lance, then he wouldn't want it. Yeah, you do need to rejoin. This is a fresh contest. This is a fresh giveaway. Okay. So this is for a copy of Natural Fantasy. And by the way, you know, like I said before, there are a lot of different price points for this Kickstarter. Beyond and besides the where were we? There's a lot of different price points for this Kickstarter above and beyond just the look how huge that is. be above and beyond just the oh, what the heck did I just do? There we go. Above and beyond just the mega ultimate collector's edition, right? And so, for some of you, for many of you, it might be enough to just back and get the new bestiary and the core rulebook. I think that level up package is going to be very, very popular. I think it's a great option, especially if you already own the atlases and, you don't need the, ultimate version of it, which is fine, which is great. But for people like me, I'm going to have to do some freaking fundraising goals here because this is pretty much gonna tap me out on Kickstarters, I think, for the rest of the year for sure. Now that I'm not working and I'm living off the YouTube, which is a tough living. This is gonna be pretty. This is gonna be a big purchase for me for sure. I was checking out the Daggerheart Kickstarter since I'm in Canada, and we'll get these with the deluxe bundle anyways. Who is this Dagger Kickstarter for? Players buying Kickstarters? I don't know, KC. Maybe. Maybe. So it's a great question, KC, especially because the card packs are like $20 or something like that, or something. 20, 25 bucks, and like the core box set is like 50. But then again, I wonder if the core box set if they do a reprint, when they do a reprint of it eventually, it's going to be like 75 or 80 or 85 or something like that. So this is a giveaway for a copy of Natural Fantasy Atlas. It is signed by, you can't see it because it gets blown out completely, but you can almost make it out. It is signed by Emmanuel to the Knights. And he signed this for me at just this past Gen Con, so just about 2 months ago. And if you win, it's getting shipped out to you. If you're in Europe, again, Cineboss is apparently helping cover your price. Tyler, our friend Eldark, says, I backed FU, but only at the deluxe bundle level, getting the GM kit and press start hard copy as add-ons. Fantastic. Well, KC, we don't have to worry about Daggerheart. All we have to worry about is Fabula. I mean, I will say that what's nice about the Daggerheart option is if you're only interested in playing that character class, then you buy that pack of cards and you're pretty much set. So there is that. Is there going to be a first look tonight? I'm not sure, Klobster Roll. We'll see. I am supposed to do a stream backing. D&D Shorts is running a Power Word meal campaign to raise money for a UN food drive, and I signed up to sort of support it and give it clout. And so I'm trying to either do a stream today or Thursday that'll really be like popular and actually get a lot of people viewing it. And so I might like cover like D&D or Daggerheart or something like that to try to get it, popular. One idea was for me to do an open on the new Keep in the Borderlands box set. I don't have that yet, and I still need to get my top rig mount figured out. So I might postpone that to Thursday. So it remains to be seen. All right. So last chance. Type !join in chat if you want a copy of Natural Fantasy Atlas. As a reminder, I have 2 more copies of this that I'm going to be giving away exclusively to my patrons over on Patreon. Patrons, if you're here in chat, you should sign up. But if you're going to get 2 more opportunities to win this. So, all right. Tyler Aldark is our last person to join. Hadrian, you're in there. Twiggy, you're in there already. I think I saw your name. Yep, there you are, Twiggy. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Stopping the entries. Sketchosaurus Rex, you are the winner. Congrats, Sketchosaurus. Like, he types this exclamation point join after he won. You're already in there, and you won. Congrats, Sketchosaurus Rex. Sketchosaurus, what you can do is send me an email to dmelenda@knightsoflastcall.com and go ahead and link me to your YouTube account so I know it's you, and give me your address, and I will get a copy of Natural Fantasy Atlas out to you. So we've given away a Natural Fantasy Atlas. We've given away a Techno Fantasy Atlas. And to round things out, I'm going to reset this queue one last time. So I know lunch break is over. All right, we're going to restart this, disable it, re-enable it. That should work. All right, last time, last opportunity. This is still sealed. This is the GM kit. This contains a small pamphlet with information about how to run and advice for running GMs and creating monsters. It also is this beautiful GM screen. It's low profile. It's wide. Apparently, my thing is broken. What happened? Reset. There we go. Okay. Type exclamation point join. This will get you in here. Can you join? Can I join if I'm not in the Patreon? Yes, you can, Toothless. This is a giveaway for everybody. I'm going to be doing a separate giveaway for my patrons in our Discord. Our Discord is only for our patron members of Night's Last Call. But this one is for everybody. This is a celebration. Again, this is a celebration of all things Fabula Ultima. Again, I think this is not only do I think this is a great game, I think this is a great company. I think this is a great designer. They have an incredible. They are just genuinely good people. Those of you who have been a part of, obviously there's now an official Fabula Ultima Discord, but many of us have been members of Emmanuel's private Discord for a long time. You know that, one of the things I hear, maybe there's a kindred spirit there. One of the things that a lot of people say is they go, Derek, I get it. I'm not a huge content creator, but a lot of people who join my chats, join my live streams, join my Patreon, or say, it's so cool. I've been in other Patreons. I never even see or talk to the person whose channel it is. And I'm pretty online. I answer a lot of questions. I'm involved in the conversations. I'm there for my patrons. My patrons can DM me or whatever. Everybody knows that Emmanuel has busted his ass over the last several years. He is so active. He is so engaged with answering questions, engagement, coming up with rules. If you're not super involved in the Fabula Ultima community, you don't even know the half of it. You don't know about, all the little micro pamphlets and the little micro giveaways and, like the Halloween specials and the Christmas specials and the variant initiative rules. Like, this guy has been passionate about this game and its community the entire time, and he has put in the effort. So yes, Kickstarters are going to be expensive. Getting things printed and shipped now is going to be more expensive than ever. But don't just think of this as a book, okay? Don't even think of this. It is a book, and it is a new book, and it's a beautiful book. But also think of it as a way to celebrate this game, to celebrate this creator, to celebrate this company. These people are doing it right. They are putting love and care and concern into their games. They are engaged and involved with their community. They aren't just doing faceless polls that they then say, based on survey results, we're going to do X, Y, Z. No, like, they are in the thick of it, and they really understand the zeitgeist of their own game. And there's not many people who can say that. And again, I've just been impressed time and time again. And for a small publisher like this to go and hit 4 for 4 on their Kickstarters, Core, Atlas, Atlas High Fantasy, Atlas Techno Fantasy, now Atlas Natural Fantasy, one year after another, is incredible. Their art value has not dropped. The design aesthetic is still there. They are still giving incredible value for the dollar. So as I'm happy that they are going with a more expensive option. Yes, they could have done just another soft cover print, cheap to print book, which is fine. The perfect bound book. It's fine. They're pretty. They're totally usable. But I like that they are choosing to celebrate not just the game, but themselves. And I think we should be part of that celebration. And I, for one, am going to be happy to throw a couple $100 at them. Times are tough. Everyone knows this. Maybe just get the level up package. Maybe just get the PDFs. Maybe just buy Press Start and see if you like the game. or it's free. I shouldn't even say that. All I'm saying is there's different ways to support these people, and I, for one, am happy to do it. Okay, so last opportunity to !join to get your copy of this beautiful Game Master Toolkit. It's a beautiful GM screen. It's a useful GM screen. Even the GM kit, it's really just the GM screen, but the GM kit is actually pretty useful. So check it out, check it out, check it out. All right. We've got Black Retro is our last person. John, I think I saw your name in here already, so I think you're good. No, John, you weren't in here. What's going on? Where's John? Oh, there you are, John. You were already in there. Mandatory fun time. All right, we're gonna do the live giveaway in 10 seconds. So get your final joins in. Mandatory fun time. That's a great name. That's all right, John. I don't blame anybody for spamming. 2-4 Trioxin got it. 2-4-5 Trioxin got in last minute. All right, here we go. Stopping the entries. Selecting a name. Den B, a recent-ish new member of the Knights of Last Call Patreon. Den B, you have won a Fabula Ultima Game Master screen. Fantastic. Love to see it. Love to see it, Den B. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Den B. Congrats. Den, go ahead and PM me or just at me on the Discord. I can get your information that way. Technically, I already have your information because you're already signed up for this. Yeah. I swear to God, I've never won anything in my life. Well, now you have, Den. So, yeah. So we're going to be sending out a copy of the Atlas. Oh, come on. There we go. We're going to be sending out a copy of the Techno Fantasy Atlas. Again, signed by Emmanuel. We're going to be giving out a copy of the Natural Fantasy Atlas. Again, signed by Emmanuel. These also all have the PDF code in them as well. And then lastly, Den, our most recent winner, is going to win this awesome GM kit. If you haven't seen it. It's real pretty. And it's a low profile. It's the same kind of digest size as the books. So it stacks up really nicely. It's a great book. It's got how to design NPCs on the fly, base DCs, rituals, travel rolls, status effects, all the information you need to make a new NPC or villain on the fly, basic rewards, and some of the basic actions. It's a beautiful screen. Does the GM kit come with a PDF code for the GM screen? Carpenter, I think it does. Actually, I think it does. And then as a reminder, I have another GM screen and 2 more signed copies of Natural Fantasy. Those I'm going to be giving away to my patrons over on our Discord. So yeah. The Morio screen is also delicious. I mean, I think that all the art that they use is beautiful. I think it's great. Also, if you're not aware, they also have a really good. It's not official, of course, but there's a really, really good Foundry system for Fabula Ultima as well, which is really pretty, and they're doing a lot of work on it. And shout out to those designers. I don't know if they have a coffee link, but it's definitely worth sending them a couple bucks. I know I have when I was getting ready to use it. I ended up not launching the campaign because, again, it didn't support Technospheres yet. I'm not going to lie. Technospheres are way too complicated for this game, but I love them, and my group loved them, and yeah. So very, very cool. Junderlin, I've had a question about this for a while. Junderlin, good to see you. As someone who has a lot of books across systems and publishers, how do you sort and organize them? Junderlin, I honestly, at this point, Junderlin, the stuff behind me is organized by, we've done polls about what should Derek have behind his head when he's on screen. So the bottom of my shelf is mostly just books I don't really touch that much. The top is usually gaming related, but not gaming per se. Like my Final Fantasy art books are up there. My Dragonlance Chronicles are up there. All my giveaway stuff is up there. And then in the middle here, I just, I keep the stuff that the people have voted to keep behind me. So we've got Pathfinder, we've got Forbidden Lands, Legend of the Five Rings, Mouse Guard, Fabula Ultima, Torchbearer, old school D&D, Dragonbane, and of course Daggerheart. Look at that. That's awesome. I took the PDF and made laminated sheets to print out since I'm not a big fan of screens. By the way, if you're not a big fan of screens, or the pre-printed ones, if you haven't seen these before, we've given these away before, but these are fantastic. This is the world's greatest GM screen. This is a new version that they've made, which is just a tiny little half screen. So it is half the size of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So I guess it's what, 5.5 inches tall and 8.5 wide. And it's a little bit longer than the Fabula Ultima screen. So it gives you a little bit more width real estate without actually being high. And this, I think, is really, really great. And what's cool about these, if you've never seen this before, is that it's all these plastic slip covers. So you can just print out whatever you want and fold it in half. It's a half a sheet of paper, and then you slip it in there. And the front is like that too, by the way. You can just reach in here and pull it out. So these are really, really cool. So you can check these out. I'm sure you can buy them online. They're the world's greatest GM screen. So pretty sweet. Leviticus says, damn, torn between Daggerheart, Blaze of the Dark, and Fabula Ultima for my group's next campaign. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those. Certainly, I think Fabula Ultima and Daggerheart kind of occupy a similar-ish niche. Blaze in the Dark obviously is, I think less gamey than either of those two. I would probably, it's tough to say which is more gamey. I think Fabula Ultima is a little bit more gamey, and ironically, Fabula Ultima might be a little bit more narrative than Daggerheart. Daggerheart just has some, what Daggerheart has that Fabula Ultima doesn't have is Daggerheart has this idea of the double axis of resolution, which I love. The duality dice system, I love. My idea for it a long time ago was just to use even or odd, but that never really felt as satisfying. So basically, like, you'd roll a d20, and if you succeeded, you succeeded. If you failed, you failed. But if you rolled with an even, it was like with hope, and if you rolled with fail, it was like with fear. We didn't call it hope or fear, but the Daggerheart system of the two dice and actually tracking not only the total but which one was higher is really cool. Fabula Ultima doesn't have that. Fabula Ultima, at the end of the day, basically has binary success or failure. But there's some really cool stuff there that I love, like the Ryutama dice system, which is very reminiscent of approaches from Fate Accelerated Edition or Legend of the Five Rings. I love that it doesn't have skills, that you just can mix and match the different stats to make different stuff. It's a great book. Yeah, I mean, again, there's pros to both of these games. I think that's a really tough decision to make. Are technospheres basically materia? Yes. They are, well, they're not just materia, Finlay Robertson. They're also like swappable, they're like swappable jobs, because the technospheres not only contain like, buffs, but they actually contain like skills from a job. And when you equip that technosphere, you get those jobs, and you get those skills. So like if you had like a sphere that it could have a bunch of guardian abilities, right? And when you equip that sphere into your armor, you gain a bunch of guardian abilities from the guardian job. And now suddenly you are a tank. Yeah. So it's more like a dress sphere. Yeah. Or like if you've played like Guild Wars 2 or whatever, where you can like swap your weapon and that sort of swaps your role. It's kind of like that. Hey, look at that. We got Nicola here from Need Games. They say, thank you so much for all this love and for your incredible support. You're amazing. Nicola, absolutely. Happy Kickstarter day, buddy. You all deserve it. I hope this is crushing. I fully expect to see at least $500,000, maybe by the end of the day. Who knows? By the end of by the end of the afternoon. You all deserve it. Again, I was not making, false statements when I said how wonderful these people are. Yeah, all of our games are at 1 p.m., Bob. It's kind of tilting. Enjoy the game, Bob. Yeah, even rod's a bit clunky. The Daggerheart system, like there's a reason I never really actually used it. Daggerheart does that really, really good. But yeah, the Fabula Ultima rated approaches with dice, it's beautiful. It's very fantastic. I love it. That's fantastic. High design. That looks really, really good. You have such bad FOMO, even though I shouldn't. I have so many books I haven't read. It's a problem for all of us, Genderlin. It's a good problem to have, I guess. You know, Fabula Heart when Dagger Ultima. Yeah, I don't know. It's more like I love both these games. There's no doubt about it. In fact, actually, it's really funny. If you go back to my last Fabula Ultima stream, which was last year, when we did like a really deep dive of it, I talked about how I'm like, oh, I love this game because it really is this like crunchy narrativist game. It reminds me of 13th Age, but better. And, you know, and I obviously said that at the time, and that's exactly the same reason why I like Daggerheart. Both of these games are really great at scratching that itch. Again, the thing that I really do like about Daggerheart is I love that you get 4 outcomes when you roll the dice, right? You get success, failure, you get hope, and fear. And those are independent of one another. Well, the two are linked, obviously. You can roll with hope, or you can roll with fear, you can roll with success, you can roll with failure. I love that outcome generation. Fabula Ultima is more of a standard. Did you succeed or did you fail? And there's options in there like success, failure with a success with a condition, and there's like an optional rule for like the GM can give you success with an additional status and all this other stuff. And full transparency, I do use that stuff, but it's not as well integrated into the game. That being said, I love that you're not always just using D12s. I love that in Fabula Ultima, it's like, hey, my might is D10, my willpower is D8. So when I'm trying to hold up this port, you know, when I'm trying to hold the door Hodor style, when I'm trying to hold up this portcullis to allow my friends time to escape before the tunnel collapses or the portcullis collapses, it's, you know, it's not just a might check, it's a might plus willpower check. And I think that's really, really cool. I liked the dice system of Ryutama. There's even elements of Ryutama I like. What I didn't like about Ryutama was the role of the Ryujin as a very, very highly biased, dare I say, fudging narrator or GM. That was what I really messed up with. Yeah, that would be a little confusing, Cody, but you are correct. You could do it. It's already over 400K. Look at that. So we are they are already, look, it's at 415 now. So yeah, I mean, this thing is going to do great. Position and effect is a beautiful thing, Mark Clore. It's fantastic. I mean, I still think that, you know, again, Blades in the Dark doesn't do everything. Blades in the Dark is not a tactical game, right? And I'll be fully transparent with that. One of the reasons I like Daggerheart, one of the reasons I like Fabula Ultima is because they managed to include this tactical element to the game without being super focused on the grid. But I still think in many ways, Blades in the Dark is the game that is the best game for me to run, simply because it flows so smoothly because, in my opinion, of things like position and effect. Technosphere sounds crazy complicated, but super fun. Yes, and yes. I agree, Smendon. In fact, one of the things I love the most, if you go back to my Daggerheart thing, I love the magic system of Fabula Ultima. I love their ritual system. And if you remember from that very first week when I was reviewing, when I did 25 hours of Daggerheart streams, the one thing I said, particularly with the Splendor domain, was, it feels like they need a ritual system. And I would certainly want to steal this. Yeah, that's a good point, Forrest. You do bring that in with clocks. It's true. I hate dice. The mixing sucks. No, dice are fun. Dice are fun. Ooh, fantastic. Yeah, position and effect is fantastic, and I love that. I love that players can trade position and effect, and you do it within the fiction, but then it affects the mechanics in a very clear and agreeable way. What you should do is not clear. There's no rules for that, right? And the Blades in the Dark book talks about this all the time. What would you have done? We made it. You know, we made that controlled. Would you have made that risky? It's up to you. It's up to you and how you feel it, you know? And there is the man, the myth, the legend, Rooster in the house. Y'all, I'm here just to say we're absolutely speechless. We're not forgetting the amount of love and support shown, I promise. Bestiary will kick ass. Have a great stream and a great day. Rooster, I'm glad you're able to stop by before we sign off. Again, this was just a quick lunchtime stream to signal boost as much as I can for this incredible and amazing game. I'm looking forward to getting my books. I don't know if I'm looking forward to spending a couple $100s, but I promise you, you could not be putting it into better hands. These people will deliver. You're gonna get such a beautiful, finished product. The pride in work, the pride in the game. It's just from the first page to the last page. It's evident in their stewardship of this game. So I love that this isn't just a bestiary, it's a celebration. And again, it's a celebration of where we're at. This is, in my opinion, sort of the bookend of, chapter 1 of Fabula Ultima, right? Which is the core book, the 3 core pillars of high fantasy, techno fantasy, natural fantasy, and finally a bestiary. And again, with Yoshitaka Amano art, which again, I literally could not have written, I could not have, if you had given me a choice, I could not have picked a better choice, because again, it's for me, it is, it's my art. In fact, his sketches of Terra to this day, and especially, of course, my girl, my favorite Final Fantasy character of all time. Where's she at? Where you at? There she is. So Celis Cher is my absolute favorite Final Fantasy character of all time. And this particular one here, this piece of art, is like amazing. So, any case, they did all the right things. For me, at least. Hopefully they did it for you as well. So congrats to Need Games. Congrats to our winners. Again, make sure you send me that email if you didn't already. And then to my patrons, we'll have some more giveaways just for our patrons. But I just wanted to quickly hop on here at lunchtime and shout out this game. Join you all in the hype. Get excited. Get ready to find what the right package is for me. Do I end up buying all the collector's box? Do I buy the collector's box with all the flat, the simple covers, and then also somehow add on the additional deluxe hardcover of the core book and the bestiary? I don't know. We'll see. So it's a Rooster confirming that Celis is amazing and badass. I mean, she's just, a lot of people, they forget, but she's basically, kind of, the main character of the second part of the book, or second part of the game. And then Nicholas says, Ema, we did it. So you guys enjoy the rest of this awesome day. I'm sure it's starting to get the evening over there, but I'm sure you guys are going to be up all night watching this number tick up. Again, there's a link in the doobly-doo below. Check it out. It's Fabula Ultima. It's the bestiary. It's a celebration. It's limited edition covers. It's hard print backs. It's item packs. It's dice. It's a bunch of stretch goals. It's an art book. Check it out. I'm just happy to support an awesome publisher and an awesome game system and just awesome people. And again, ultimately, it's all about playing games. So I hope that you don't just buy this game. I hope you get it to a table. I hope you run it. Maybe join Knights of Last Call and run Fabula Ultima games for us. I'm sure my patrons would love it. And we have some people who are already doing that. So join the fun, join the crowd. We'd love to have you. And for me, for the rest of the day, maybe I'll be back later tonight. We'll see what's going on. But until next time, I'll catch you on Knights of Last Call. Good night, everybody. Fabula Ultima forever.